The Denver Broncos are easily the most disappointing team in the NFL this year, and I feel like that's pretty inarguable. But today, we're going to try to counteract that, I guess, and turn this into an amazing team. And let me tell ya, no spoilers, but we were pretty successful at that. But super quick, the last few videos I have been making have been doing very well, so if you enjoy it, just be sure to like and subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's see if we can get to 30 likes. I'm fairly confident we can do that. So every like and every sub helps, whether you think it does or not. It helps a ton, so be sure to do that. And help me chip away at 1K. Hopefully we can get there before the end of the year. And huge shout out to Touchdowns. They're an OG of the channel. Go drop them a sub. Link in the description. They deserve it. And if you want a shout out just like that one, just be sure to let me know what team to do next. It's as simple as that. Maybe your favorite team, a team you're interested in, or that you find interesting. That's a better way to word it. Just let me know down below, and I'll give you a shout out and do that team next. And last thing, this video was streamed live on Twitch. If you want to watch me do these live and even influence some of the decisions I make, like people did in this rebuild, go follow my Twitch. Link to that in the description. We're definitely growing over there with each stream I do, and I'm doing all these rebuilds live on there, so be sure to do that. But long intro over, let's get into today's video, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Hello everybody, it is Brandon the Simp here, and today we're going to be rebuilding the Denver Broncos. Now this has been one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL, I'm not even going to lie, and all of that just starts with Russell Wilson. That's all it comes down to. He has been shocking, especially considering he was my pick for MVP going into the year. It's not even like he's been the absolute worst or anything, but they gave up so much for him, gave him such a huge contract and everything. They just expected him to be the savior of their franchise, and he has not been at all. Now, the coaching was rough for the first few games, but it has been a little better lately, but Russell Wilson has not been. Now, they have had their bright spots like Patrick Surtain, Courtland Sutton, but a lot of their team has just been a little disappointing. But today, we're going to work to make them a little bit better and hopefully turn their season around. But here is a look at the roster. Obviously, you know, they have some strengths and weaknesses. Honestly, I don't even know if their main position is a strength or a weakness. Going into the year, you would obviously call it a strength, but now, I don't know. I mean, I have been the biggest Russell Wilson fan throughout his entire career. I mean, he played minor league baseball like 2 minutes away from my old house. Plus, I just think, I've always thought he was a crazy underrated quarterback. He has always been like arguably the best in my eyes. I just always thought he was a little held back. But now joining the Broncos, he just really has shown all of his bad sides now all the time, because there was that big flaw that I always hated about him where he would literally just run into sacks. And now that the Seahawks have Geno Smith, guess what? He's like one of the least sacked QBs in the league. Like I hate to say it, but a lot of the reason for the offensive line struggles and the sacks showing up in the stat sheet is because Russ would run into sacks. And now it seems even elevated here. He made the Broncos offensive line look really terrible. Yeah, it's just unfortunate, but that's kind of what it is. All of his flaws have kind of been shown. I do expect him to rebound a little bit for sure. I don't expect him to play this bad all year. I think as their schedule gets a bit easier, they will play better. But I don't know. He doesn't look the same as he did in Seattle. That's all I'm going to say. I thought he would look better. He looks quite a bit worse. But he definitely has help around him. At least he did, because there have been some injuries, but here he will have some help. Obviously, Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, obviously not healthy in real life. KJ Hamler. This offensive line is good and very deep. Garrett Bowles, I believe, is done for the year, but they have Dalton Reisner, Lloyd Cushenberry. Like, they have a good and very deep group. I love Quinn Miners, by the way. He is very good. I might even play one of these guys at tackle just to get the younger players starting, but yeah, it's a great group. Albert Okwuegbunam, I thought would break out, but he's been whatever so far. In this running back room, it was pretty good when Javonte Williams was healthy. Obviously no longer healthy. Unfortunately also done for the year. This offense has kind of been destroyed, because if you think about it, it's really, are they playing Calvin Anderson at left tackle, who I don't mind, or I think they're playing Fleming at right tackle and maybe Compton or Turner at left? I don't know. But yeah, on paper, when healthy, this is a pretty good offense. Now this defense has also played pretty well. I love the duo of Randy Gregory and Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb hasn't really regained his rookie year success, but Randy Gregory appears to be a very good signing. I was a bit iffy on it, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a bit of an overpay in like 5 years for a player that has shown like 1 or 2 years of like decent production, like good down to down. Like I think PFF really loved him, but his production, he had like 6 sacks, but it has really shown to be a good signing here. The secondary is pretty amazing too. Patrick Surtain has shown to be one of the better corners in the league so far this year. Ronald Darby unfortunately done for the year. I think K'Wan Williams is also not healthy right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but either way, he hasn't been as great since leaving the 49ers. I do like Darius Phillips and Michael Ojemudia though, clearly by their 73 overall ratings there. But just like I've said, overall not a pretty underwhelming team is what I will say. They've been pretty underwhelming. This D-line is not great. DJ Jones has been fine so far. I like Mike Purcell. Draymond Jones I thought would be a breakout player eventually, hasn't really been that. These linebackers, Jonas Griffith has been decent. Alex Singleton has even been a little surprising. He hasn't been the worst. Josie Jewell's a good player. They're just kind of lacking, like, they have holes is what I will say. They have some pretty big holes, specifically on this defensive line, and I guess you could argue in their linebacker room. I do like Justin Simmons. Kareem Jackson is on the back half of his career, unfortunately, but is still a decent player. Like, it's a great team on paper. I wouldn't say great, but it is a decent team on paper. They have some really good players. It's just they haven't really been playing amazing lately is what I will say. But let's get into year number 1 of this rebuild, and I will see you guys at the midseason point of year number 1. All right, here we are trading Alex Singleton and Cam Fleming for Aleem McNeil and a 7th from the Lions. Now, not a very interesting trade, but one that I think is good. I mean, it's 2 older players off of our team that won't be a part of the team by even like next year for Aleem McNeil and a 7th. So a player that could end up being our like left defensive end for the future, and a 7th round pick that, hey, you never know, maybe we can pick a good player there. Here we're trading Graham Glasgow and Jonathan Cooper to the Titans for a 3, a 5, and a 7. Now this is just another like depth / older player dumping here. Like, we just don't need them. They're never gonna play a role in our team. And I mean, even with Jonathan Cooper, we have Baron Browning and Nick Bonito behind him, and he's a year older. Like, we're good, honestly. And Graham Glasgow is buried behind like a younger and better group. So basically just almost free picks. I am gonna be honest, I did not expect this to go through. We're gonna be trading PJ Locke and Latavius Murray for a 4th from the Steelers. I don't know why they're interested in either of them, to be honest, but I will take it. Okay then. I'm gonna show that I didn't cheat or anything. That was a little unexpected. I mean, we won the first game and I saw that because I did the key to victory or whatever. We're 7-0. And it's not like we have an easy schedule. I mean, the 49ers are a good team. The Raiders are good on paper. The Colts are pretty good on paper. The Chargers are maybe the best team on paper. The Jets have been decent this year. Like, this is not an easy schedule, and we are undefeated, and we've been like smoking teams, to be honest. I mean, we only beat the Raiders by 1. We only beat the Chargers by 3. We are the Broncos. I'm a dumbass. But yeah, this has been maybe the most unexpected start to a rebuild ever. What? Like, to be honest with you, I thought we were going to be closer to 0-7 than 7-0. This is crazy. We have an upgrade here for Albert Okwuegbunam. Decent upgrades there. Not bad. And we have a breakout receiver here. Jerry Jeudy? Probably. Yeah, Jerry Jeudy, 3+ touchdowns or 150+ yards. I think that might be doable. We'll see. We'll check up on it, but that would be absolutely huge to hit. He could be our wide receiver 1 for the rebuild. And for re-signings, who do I want back here, to be honest? That's a lot of older players. Well, let's start off with Bradley Chubb. I do want him back. We'll re-sign him for 4 years, about 8.7 per year. That's not a bad deal. He would definitely want more than that in real life. Then a lot of these are just kind of older players. Dalton Reisner, how has he been this year? Because if he hasn't been great, I could just replace him. Oh, he's been really good. Only 1 sack allowed. Yeah, we'll re-sign him. He's fully interested. Let's offer him that, and he takes it. Nice. So for Draymond Jones, he is not interested. How has he been doing this year? Because I might overpay him if he's been a stud. If not, though, he's been pretty good. Okay, already 7 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. That's not bad, honestly. I'll overpay him if he even takes it, to be honest. I mean, we could offer him very player-friendly. That would be about 6.6 per year for 4 years. That's not bad at all. We'll see if he takes that, and he does. Okay, nice. Jonas Griffith, I guess I'll re-sign. Again, he's not super interested, but he's also very cheap, so we'll just offer him very player friendly, and he takes it. Nice. Everyone else here, though, they're either older or just kind of depth players or both. I might re-sign Andrew Beck or Asong Bassi, but like everyone else, Corliss Waitman isn't a great overall in this game. Everyone else can just walk, honestly. All right, so at the end of year number 1, we finished 15-2. That is so much better than I thought it would be. I thought we would be talking about this team with like a top 10 pick, but we're gonna have like probably a bottom 3 pick. I mean, I don't know how we're gonna do in the playoffs, but we did amazing in the regular season. Let's see how some of our players did. I'm guessing Russ went off. Well, he was good for sure. 4,900 yards, 33 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Not his best year, but definitely not bad at all. Definitely a lot better than he has been doing this year. I mean, he's been really bad this year, but I mean, if you compare this to like his 2020 season, this isn't as good. Like it's a decent year for Russ. Good God, Javonte Williams, 1,000 yards, 4.4 yards per carry, 23 touchdowns. What's the record? Hold on, let me find out the record. Okay, yeah, the record is 28 by LaDainian Tomlinson. I almost said Levante David. I don't know, but yeah, that's a crazy running back season. I don't think I've ever seen nearly that high of rushing touchdowns in a single year. Let me see what the next closest. Wow, there were actually a good amount. Christian McCaffrey with 22, Joe Mixon with 21, the funny number, and Leonard Fournette with 20. Okay, there were just a ton of rushing touchdowns. It seems like running backs are very important in this game because, I mean, we get a ton of rushing touchdowns and we go 15-2. I don't know if the touchdowns are a product of the good games or the games are a product of the touchdowns. I don't know. Jerry Jeudy finished as our leading receiver with 104 catches for 1,300 yards and 11 touchdowns. That's the power of playing somebody in the slot. 1,200 yards for Cortland Sutton and 8 touchdowns. 900 yards, almost 1,000 for Tim Patrick with 9 touchdowns. Alberto with 888 yards and only 3 touchdowns. You would like to get those touchdowns up for a tight end, but hey, you take it. He had a pretty good year. The offensive line was good. I feel like they changed sack numbers for teams. Well, maybe not. Maybe I've just had amazing offensive lines lately because some of these players did really bad. It looks like guards let up way less sacks now, but tackles can still let up a ton. Huh, weird. It definitely does look like they changed interior sacks let up for sure. Because yeah, the highest has been 9 from Jonah Jackson. I've had guards let up like 20. Interesting. Well, either way, Billy Turner was technically our worst player, but I am 100% happy that he was because we're going to be replacing him either way. Garrett Bowles, Dalton Reisner, Lloyd Cushenberry, and Quinn Miners all did amazing. And defensively, Jonas Griffith led the team with 105 tackles. Tackles for loss, we had a ton. 18 from Draymond Jones, 17 from Randy Gregory, 15 from Bradley Chubb, and 15 from Aleem McNeil. Aleem the Dream McNeil, I don't know. But Bradley Chubb led the team in sacks with 13.5, Randy Gregory with 8, Draymond Jones with 6.5, and a big drop off from there. Aleem McNeil with 3, and a couple players with 1.5 sacks. Like, meh. K'Wan Williams and Patrick Surtain tied for the team lead in interceptions with 4, 2 each from Jonas Griffith, Ronald Darby, and Josie Jewell, and 1 each from a number of players, including Randy Gregory and Baron Browning now at edge. Interesting. In offensive yards, we had 6,926, nice, which was 3rd, and defensively we were 4th. And we had the most points scored with 533. Makes sense with all those rushing touchdowns, and then 4th in defensive points allowed. So very, very good team. What? I beg your pardon? Derek Carr wins MVP. I don't know if I've ever seen him come close to an MVP, let alone win it. Are you kidding me? Well, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, I mean, the rest of these kind of make sense. Marcus Mariota, that's a bit weird, but Derek Carr, I don't know about that one, Chief. I'm gonna be honest. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Jonathan Taylor, Derek Carr at number 4. Okay. Are there any? No, there are not. No Broncos, surprisingly, even though Javonte Williams got close to the sack record. Okay, or rushing touchdown record, not sack record. Speaking of sacks, though, your dad, I mean Von Miller. He won Defensive Player of the Year. Any Broncos up here? Bradley Chubb at number 8. Devin Lloyd as a rookie up there. That's interesting. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to John Mechie. Get well soon, homeboy. Any Broncos? No. In Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Devin Lloyd, of course. Not surprising. And no Broncos. Okay, so not great in terms of awards, to be honest, but hey, we had an amazing year. I really hope we can keep this up in the following years, but hey, we're here now. That's what matters. We made the playoffs. Like, hopefully we can win some games and maybe even win a Super Bowl here. You never know. We have a few upgrades before we sim the week to see who we're taking on in the divisional, but just real quick, again, if you have not liked or subscribed, let's see if we can get 30 likes and let's see if we can get on that road to 1,000 subscribers by hopefully the end of the year. And let me know what team to rebuild next, because I will do it in a stream like I am now, and I will shout you out in the video, tell everyone to sub to you, everything like that. Okay, so we're gonna be taking on the 9-7-1 Tennessee Titans. Interesting. So let's take a look at this Titans team. I don't know what their roster is even looking like, because these are not my custom rosters for some of the teams, including the Titans. I've gotten to about just a little fourth wall break. I think I have gotten to I think I just finished the Niners or the Falcons. The Falcons might be the last team I did. Yeah, I don't think I ever touched the 49ers. But let's see what they're rocking with. So obviously, Jeffrey Simmons up to a 90, Derrick Henry at a 99, Robert Woods at an 88 with morale. They have some like pretty good players on this team. I was just more interested in how they're developing and looking. Christian Fulton at a 77. They have DeAndre Carter now. Interesting. Kyle Phillips up to a 76 as a rookie. But Traylon Burks is their number 4. They signed DeAndre Carter just for him to play in front of Traylon Burks. Okay. I mean, that's kind of good for us. But we have a first of many scenario here. Let's see what this is. Well, I know what it is, but we'll go play it cool. Never want to guarantee a win. That's just bad luck. But let's see if we can take down the Tennessee Titans. And we do, barely. 41-38. That was a little closer than I would hope for, considering our season. I mean, we're not the best overall by any means. We're only an 80 overall, but we were a better overall than them. We were at home and we did much better this year, but we do take them down by a little bit. So you take that, you take the win no matter what, unless, you know, your like entire team gets injured. But hey, you take the win. And here we're going to take on the Cleveland Browns in the conference championship. Dude, first round buys are kind of OP. Like, you go straight from winning your first game to in the conference championship. Like, that just seems kind of busted to me. I don't know. We have some small upgrades here. Justin Stranad, and doesn't he go by Ae or something? Ayoma Uwazurike, or Uwazurike, not Uwu. I didn't mean to Uwu to you all. I'm sorry. But we have a for the first of many. I think it's just going to give us staff points, so it's never that interesting. I don't even use staff points because I'm too lazy to. 7 staff points. I'm sure that's super helpful. But let's see if we can take down the Cleveland Browns. And we do, 48-42. Now that I think about it, it's kind of ironic Odell was on the Cleveland Browns, considering, you know, what he is into. We'll just say that. Just a little interesting to me, you know, that kind of worked out that way. Did that come out after he was on the Browns, like after he had already left them? Or did Odell say that after? Or who exposed that? It was like one of the girls he's been with before. I don't know. Kind of gross, but hey, you do you. I guess it doesn't hurt anyone unless you get a disease from that. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about it. It's gross. But we have some upgrades here. Jerry Jeudy, Nick Bonito, and Tim Patrick. Some pretty big upgrades. All either starters or like soon to be starters maybe at some point. But we're gonna be in the Super Bowl. I didn't even talk about the fact that we're gonna be in the Super Bowl against the Cowboys. I was too busy talking about Odell and his shit fetish. The Dallas Cowboys. Now, we might as well just jump in here. You know, I don't normally jump in year one, but since it is, you know, the Super Bowl, you might as well jump in. We have a Super Bowl media day. Now, if the Broncos make the Super Bowl, unless they have some crazy, like, rebound towards the end of the year, I will be, like, stunned. It's just the beginning, because it is literally just the beginning of the rebuild. It's year one. We get 10 staff points. I don't know if that affects the outcome of the game, like, saying that, but I hope not. But let's jump in against the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. This might be the best year one I've ever had, like 15-2 and in the Super Bowl. This is ridiculous. This is random, but Tyrann Mathieu really reminds me of 6'9". He just kind of looks and kind of sounds like him from what I remember. Either way, we're going to be taking on, wow, that looks really weird. That was kind of cool, but also kind of ugly, that whole rock thing. What was that? But let's jump in against the Dallas Cowboys and see if we can take them down. I'm all over the place in this rebuild. I don't know what I'm talking about, dude. But we take an early 14-0 lead against the Cowboys. They answer with a touchdown, but we go up 21-7. Let's see if we can note it's 21-14. 21-21. I shouldn't have opened my mouth. They're winning 28-21 now. We do tie it up again. They're winning 31-28 now. It's tied. It is in overtime, and you have to be kidding me. They go down in overtime and immediately get a touchdown, and we don't even get a chance to answer. It ends up 37-31. That's maybe the worst outcome possible. Came back on and then lose in overtime because we don't even get a chance. Let's forget this year ever happened and let's get into year number 2. All right, so the nice thing about this team is we actually have some money. We have 54.9 mil to work with. I didn't think we would have like any money considering the RUSS contract, but we got some bank to work with, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, we have some good tight ends here we could go for. Ooh, can't really go wrong here either way. Evan Ingram is ranked way too high in this game, but yeah, let me look through here and let's see who we're gonna go after. Okay, here is what we're gonna be doing in free agency. First one being Rob Havenstein. I always pronounce it differently, either Havenstein or Havenstein. I pronounce it different every time. I've heard both, I say both. It doesn't matter for this situation either way. I mean, it's Madden, but we're gonna try and bring him in to be our right tackle. Obviously, our right tackles were all old and we didn't get great play for them, so we're gonna pay a lot for Rob Havenstein. I'm saying Havenstein now. Hopefully he can come in and be great. Jamel Dean, this is almost just like a luxury signing. We don't necessarily need another corner, but he would come in and be immediately either the number 2 or number 1 with Patrick Surtain next to him. Tight end, Mike Gesicki. There are a lot of teams interested in him. There are a lot of teams interested in almost every player we're getting, or at least half of them here, but we're gonna hope to bring him in to start over Albert O. Albert O was decent last year, but I mean, this is just a big overall upgrade. They're comparable players too. I mean, Mike Gesicki's a little more of like a receiver type, a little not quick. Well, I guess he's quicker. I don't know. It's comparable, but he's more of a receiver type, like a big slot type. So that should be a big upgrade, assuming we get him. And then Taylor Rapp. The reason I'm bringing him in is because he has superstar. That's really it. I mean, he's not a great overall, but he is younger, and obviously with that superstar dev, you expect him to develop at least a little bit. So let's see if any of these players sign right off the bat. And we get Rob Havenstein and Mike Gesicki right off the bat. Beautiful. Now we still have Jamel Dean and Taylor Rapp on the board. We are tied for Jamel Dean now. Okay, I upped their contracts a little bit. Taylor Rapp's didn't move really at all, but it is a little bit more money in an extra year, I think. So hopefully he will be interested in that, but let's see if either of these two take their contracts. And they both sign with us. This was a massive free agency class. So we have some pretty big dev ups here. Patrick Surtain went up to X Factor in his like 3rd year now, or going into his 3rd year. He's already the 15th ranked corner in the league. Like, he is a stud, up to an 85 overall with that X Factor. And then we also had Bradley Chubb go up to superstar after having a monster year. I mean, that was kind of predictable. He had 13.5 sacks or whatever. He had 13.5, close enough. Like, he was a very good player, so that makes a ton of sense. This has been just a beautiful start. You couldn't ask for a better start. I mean, well, I guess you could ask for winning a Super Bowl, but hey, you take it. You know, you don't really expect to win one year one. So we have a 5th year option for Jerry Jeudy. I'm gonna pick it up. I mean, we could be in a big money problem situation, and I might not be able to re-sign him, so we're just gonna pick up his 5th year. This could also screw us over if we push it back into a year where no, I guess this can't screw us over because we're only doing 3 years, but still, I'm still worried about that screwing us over. I don't think it will, but I'm still worried. God fucking damn it, I forgot. Oh no, I forgot. In the draft, the Seattle Seahawks have the number 1 overall pick, so good for them, my favorite team. We have the I think we have pick 72 as our first pick. Round 3, pick 8. I believe that's pick 72. That's fun. Let's just get straight there. I forgot from the RUSS trade, we don't have a first or second round pick. I don't know why I didn't remember that. I guess I'm just stupid. At least I think next year we'll have a first, hopefully, but that really sucks. Okay, with our first pick in the 3rd round, we're gonna be going Craig Grant. He is a 6 foot, 227 pound outside linebacker out of Florida. He's only 21 years old. He's a left-handed, just like me, for real. He ran a 4.64 at the combine, isn't very strong, putting up only 15 reps. He's basically a safety. I mean, a little bit bigger of a safety, but he is pretty much a safety. He has A to C awareness. I'm gonna assume that's closer to A, because typically these cover linebackers do have good awareness and play rec. A man coverage, A zone coverage. The thing I like about him is he also has A pursuit, has maybe decent tackle, and probably not great block shedding, but at least good pursuit. So let's take him, and he has hidden. Beautiful. All right, here we're gonna go with Andy Walker. He just looks like a decent center, projected day 3, only 21. Like, he just looks fine. We'll take him. He doesn't have hidden, but he might be a good overall. There's just not a lot for us here, to be honest. That's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. So with the last pick I think I'm gonna make here before I sim it out, we're gonna go Cameron Gibson. He is a projected UDFA, or a potential UDFA. Not projected, but potential. Or no, I guess that is projected. That's not his talent. Whatever, I'm stupid. But he is only 21 years old out of Baylor. He's a defensive tackle. And the reason I'm taking him is because he's not incredibly slow. 34 reps on the bench, decent combine. He has C awareness, C power moves, a B block shed, B play rec, B tackle. Like, he looks like, if we got him as like a UDFA, that would be crazy, but he looks like he is worth taking here. So let's take him, and he has normal, but I expect him to be a decent overall. But here is a recap of the draft, and honestly, not the best in the world, but not the worst either. We did all right. Craig Grant is only a 70 overall. Let's see what he's going to be at middle linebacker, probably like a 69, 68. No, he stays at a 70. Okay, that's pretty nice. He is a good middle linebacker. You love to get that in the 3rd round. Jordan Hebert is a 69 overall. Nice. I took him off screen. He ended up being better than I thought he would be, so kind of wish I showed it, but it doesn't really matter. Andy Walker is only a 67. I mean, he's not really good at all. I thought he would be decent. He's not. Cameron Gibson is a 69, which is about what I expected. Again, nice. But yeah, that's a pretty good pick. I mean, especially considering he was a projected UDFA. I mean, would have been great there, but even at the 10th pick in the 4th round, that was a good pick. And then the CPU took over. They took Zach McLean. I made the joke in the last video of, you know, the McLean, my favorite McDonald's drink and all that shit, you know. Can't make it again here, but I can mention it. And then it just took, they took some decent players. I mean, they took a backup QB. I mean, with hidden dev, okay, 96 throw power. Look, I don't mean to cheat or whatever, but I want to see what his dev trait is. I am mad curious. Only star, okay, but that's a crazy steal. I might trade him, honestly. I could see a team being very interested in him. That could be a huge trade piece. And then just some other decent players. Tavares Samuel actually has hidden, so that's another huge pick. He has 95 speed. This was a phenomenal draft considering our circumstances. That's great. All right, here we have a wide receiver mentorship. It's going to be for KJ Hamler. That's fine. I mean, I would have, again, hoped for Jerry Jeudy, but I guess he's too good to mentor now. I mean, he's still younger, but I guess he's just too old. Or, no, too good to mentor. You know what I mean? Let's go getting open, and I guess let's go, like, long routes. I guess we'll just make him a deep threat. I think we have a playmaker scheme, so I could have gone, like, not getting open, whatever it was that adds, like, juke move and all that. I can't think of what it is, but whatever that is. All right, here is a look at the team going into year number 2 of the rebuild. Obviously, very different considering it has just been 1 year on the offense. We added 2 key players here in Rob Havenstein. Someone in my chat told me how to say it. Havenstein. I've heard so many different ways to pronounce it. I've given up. I just call him whatever. I'll call him Rob at this point. I mean, it's not even that hard of a last name. I've just heard so many ways ways to pronounce it. And then also Mike Gesicki is going to be our other addition on the offense. Two pretty huge ones here. Obviously, a lot of player development, like Jerry Jeudy's gone up pretty well. Some of the linemen, just like it's been a pretty good first year, even though we did lose the Super Bowl. And then the defense here, obviously two big dev-ups, Bradley Chubb and Patrick Surtain. Obviously big additions here, Taylor Rapp, Jamel Dean, Aleem McNeil last year. Craig Grant at middle linebacker is going to be our number one this year. I want him to develop for sure. I'm curious to see what his dev trait is going to be. I mean, I could easily spoil it if I really wanted to, but I don't want to. It's kind of boring. It goes against what the game wants, so you know what I mean. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, this is a very good looking team and very much improved from last year. So made the Super Bowl and lost it last year. I'm sure we're going to do terrible this year. Let's get to the midseason point. Okay, this is what I expected last year. At the midseason point of year number 2, we are 2-5. 5 wins worse than last year. We are 2 wins compared to our 7 last year. Not ideal, believe it or not. You know, not a great first half of the year, especially considering what I expected. That's unfortunate. Let's find out what the problem is. I kind of have a hunch it's Russ, but also I don't know. Russ isn't bad, not great, but he hasn't been terrible. Is the line? Yeah, the line's kind of dog. You kind of expect that to get better though throughout the year. We're still creating a little bit of pressure, but where is Randy Gregory? Has 0 sacks on the year so far. Not ideal. Only 3 interceptions through half a year. Again, not ideal. It looks like our offense is pretty good. I mean, I don't know. We have a breakout wide receiver here though. Is it going to be Jerry Jeudy again? I realized I forgot to check the last one. He probably got it and I just didn't click it, so it didn't count, but hey, it's all part of the fun here. And we have some re-signings. I wonder if there are any big ones here. Probably. And we have literally negative money to start off. Like, we don't even get a chance to re-sign anyone here. Luckily, it's not that important of players. I mean, we would be losing, I guess the most important player would be like Lloyd Cushenberry, maybe Josie Jewell, but these are just like either players that are replaceable or getting older and replaceable. So we're good, honestly. I'm assuming money will be freed up at the end of the year either way, so we can re-sign them if we have to, but we're probably fine. All right, we get the win, and let's see if we get the breakout. We do not. He is blaming the coach. That's fun. I'm gonna trade your ass. Not actually, but like I want to. So unfortunately, at the end of year number 2, after going 15-1 in the first year, or 15-2, we end up going 7-10. Not great. Let's see what some of the problems were. So Russ was not bad. 4,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Does not justify the contract he is being given. Unfortunately, we're not really getting out of that anytime soon. I mean, we're kind of stuck here. I mean, yeah, he's under contract until 2029. He's getting like 50 mil per year. We're in like the cheap years of his contract at this point. Like, it's gonna be super fun. I guess we will never get to the super expensive points of his contract, but I'm glad we don't have to because he's not worth it. Javonte Williams had 1,200 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, 11 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy with 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns. Cortland Sutton was decent. Mike Gesicki a little disappointing. Tim Patrick was all right. Blocking, not good at all from either tackle. The interior was good. It was fine. The tackles were not very good. Tackles, Craig Grant led the team with 138. What is his overall now, and what is his dev trait? He only has star, but he's up to a 74. Maybe defensive rookie of the year. That would be huge if he got that. Tackles for loss, a bit down technically, but still pretty good. 16 from Aleem McNeil, 12 from Draymond Jones, 10 each from Chubb and Gregory. Sacks, again, down. 8.5 from Bradley Chubb. Randy Gregory with 5.5. 5 from DJ Jones, 3 from Draymond Jones. Honestly, Randy Gregory hasn't done all that much for us. He might be a trade candidate. I'm not going to lie to you. He hasn't been great. Interceptions, 2 from Craig Grant, 2 from Patrick Surtain, 1 from Taylor Rapp, 1 from Ronald Darby, and that's it. We had 6 in total on the season. That's embarrassing. That's awful. Now for yearly awards, MVP is probably going to go to someone in our... No, it goes to Josh Allen. Okay, who would have guessed? Baker on the Buccaneers. That's something. Lamar Jackson goes to free agency just to go back to the Ravens. Okay. Jimmy G on the Panthers, which apparently, fun fact, almost happened in real life. So that's something. Offensive player of the year goes to Derrick Henry. I also realized how many AFC teams I've been doing lately. I've been doing a ton. I should do more NFC teams, but a lot of these AFC teams have been very interesting for sure. No Broncos up here though, not super surprising. Defensive player of the year goes to to Khalil Mack. No Broncos, unsurprising. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Brandon Felder. Nice name you got there. Of the Buffalo Bills, no Broncos. Other than Zach McLean at number 10, let's go. And Craig Grant does win Defensive Rookie of the Year. So not a great year, but at the very least, it's good to get a big award. I'm very happy with that. So in the Super Bowl, the Falcons take down the Patriots 31-24. A rematch of the not forbidden Super Bowl, but the bad Super Bowl for the Falcons, 28-3. But the Falcons do come out on top in this one. And then we have some upgrades here, including Craig Grant, obviously with his Defensive Rookie of the Year. We'll give him a couple field general, but I just want to show something in a second. Ooh, that was a fat upgrade. Okay. Up to a 77 overall, +1 speed. He got superstar development. That is huge. He looks amazing, great in coverage, even not bad at tackling. Honestly, looks more like a safety than anything, but looks like a very good player. Okay, so unfortunately, in terms of re-signings, we literally cannot re-sign anybody. We have negative 14 million in cap space to work with. I might have to make some cuts while we're in free agency just to free up some. Like, I don't want to be negative. Not that there's any penalty in this game. In real life, clearly there is, but like, I kind of want to get, like, obviously Lloyd Cushenberry back, maybe Josie Jewell. Like, I want some of these players back. It's just, we're very poor. Okay, well, this might be the worst year ever to have like a fat free agency class, because we have Jonathan Taylor, Nick Bosa, Tristan Wirfs, Rashawn Gary, and Justin Herbert, who are usually there. AJ Terrell. Like, this is a fat free agent class. It would be nice to have a little bit of money here. Unfortunately, we don't. Tough. Okay, so I'm actually gonna cut a couple of players here. First one's gonna be Garrett Bowles. It would save us 16 mil. We'll try to re-sign him in free agency for sure. He should be a little cheaper than that. I don't think too much cheaper. And even if we don't get him back, he wasn't great last year, and we could just go with a younger, maybe better performing option. The second one is gonna be DJ Jones. He's making like 10 mil a year. I'm good on that. Might re-sign him, but it's doubtful, to be honest. And then I could also cut a few other players like Tim Patrick, Justin Simmons, but you know what? I will cut Tim Patrick, to be honest. He's a 76 overall, and I think I could get him back for a little cheaper, so we'll do that too. A lot of cuts here, not super realistic, because you would just extend or rework these players' contracts, but it's Madden, so you can't do that. Okay, here we're trading Baron Browning and our quarterback slate that the CPU took with the star dev for Daxton Hill and a 4th round pick this year. That's a pretty nice trade. Obviously, Daxton Hill will be our nickel corner, so he'll get a ton of playing time, and that fills a pretty big need. So in free agency, these are the two players we're going to be going after. Jedrick Wills to replace Garrett Bowles, and then Brian Edwards to replace, I guess, KJ Hamler. Big upgrade there, but Jedrick Wills is an 81 overall, only 25 years old, I believe, so he should step right in, should develop throughout the year, and hopefully play better than Garrett Bowles did last year, and for a little bit cheaper too, so it's just a win across the board, you know what I'm saying? And then Brian Edwards, he has Superstar X Factor, so I'm like, yeah, let's do that. He's not very expensive, less than 10 mil a year for an X Factor player. Sounds good to me. I almost withdrew the offer, but let's see if any of these players sign right off the bat. And it looks like Brian Edwards does. I'm assuming he signed with us, and he does. Beautiful. And next, Jedrick Wills, let's see if he signs here. I'm surprised he didn't sign, considering he's the one who had green interest, and it looks like he also signs. That is a fat free agency class. Even though it's little, considering we went in with negative 14 mil, that's a very good outcome. Okay, so here in the draft, the Giants have the #1 overall pick. We pick at number 10. What are we gonna do here? And actually, I predicted that perfectly. I said top 10 pick, and I was right. Ramon Ramirez. That's kind of a fun name. It either sounds like a wrestler name or like a porn star name. I don't know. Well, with the first pick, I'm gonna make this one's pretty obvious. Oh, and he's from Washington State. This is just the perfect pick. Jerome Forbes. He is 6'3", 303, 21 years old, out of my Washington State. You know what I'm saying? I own it, definitely. Here in a 4.87 at the combine, 40 reps on the bench. He is an athletic freak, and he has B awareness, block shed, power moves, a play rec, tackle, impact block. Not the best pursuit or hit power or anything, but just looks like a good run defender and even a decent pass rusher. So let's take him, and he only has normal. That is very surprising to me, but I think he will at least be a decent overall. We're gonna play him at defensive end where DJ Jones used to play, and he should be good. At least like a 73, hopefully more, but... So with this pick, I think we're gonna go Quinn Lambert. He is a guard out of Florida. He looks really really good. Good elite strength he's listed with. All right, speed for sure. And then A, awareness, impact block, lead block, and then has just a lot of Bs. Not much power, but that's fine. He's a perfect scheme fit. This player looks like an absolute steal. Even in the second round, he's projected 3rd to 4th, but he should be a steal here. So let's take him. And he also has normal. I'm getting screwed with these dev traits. Again, should be a very good player. Just unfortunately no dev trait here. So sucks, but it is what it is. And then with, I think, the last pick I'm going to take here, we're going to go Mike Eason. He is a 5'11", 186 corner out of Ole Miss, also 21 years old. Not very fast or strong. I didn't see that before, but he has good press, decent zone coverage. Just looks like a good enough corner. Like, if a corner looks even remotely all right, they're probably going to be good past the first round. Not good necessarily, but like around a 70 overall. Now that I say that, he's going to be like a 63, but let's take him. And he has hidden. Why does he have hidden? What about him screams, oh yeah, this dude will develop fast? Like 89 speed, 84 jumping, doesn't really, like 50 strength. That doesn't scream like super high upside to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Okay, so here is a recap of the draft. It was interesting. So Jerome Forbes is a 76 overall. Let's move him out to defensive end where he is likely going to play. So he does go down to a 74, but I do expect him to develop throughout the year. I mean, he's very fast for a player of his size, very amazing strength, clearly. Not as good of a pass rusher as I thought he would be, but still looks like a good player. And then Quinn Lambert, of course, another player without a dev trait, but is a 74 overall. I was hoping he would be even better, but, you know, 69 pass block power and run block power with that morale. Nice. Just looks like a very good and strong player. It's weird he's more of a finesse player, even though he has 92 strength, but hey, whatever, dude. And then Mike Eason is only a 65 overall. That's not super great. I wonder if he would be a good safety. He almost looks like a safety to me. He's not a bad run defender and has better zone. Not a great safety. We'll just keep him at corner, maybe. And then the last pick I took was Jared Taylor, just kind of a random pick, but he ended up having a star dev or hidden dev. Could be superstar, could be X Factor, you never know, but I doubt it. But yeah, I just picked him because he looked like the best middle linebacker available. Clearly not in terms of overall, but definitely he has a dev trait, so he could be the best one available. Looks like a good player. And then the CPU took over and they took some all right players. A 69 overall outside linebacker. I'm going to move him to inside because he's more of a run defender than anything. But yeah, just looks like an overall decent draft, filled out some of our needs, and that's exactly what we needed to do. So I'm happy with it. Here is a look at the team going into the third and final year of the rebuild. Obviously much improved. I mean, we filled pretty much every hole on this team, and we traded some players kind of one for one. So we're looking pretty good here. Obviously the major changes on the offensive line are Jedrick Wills, Quinn Lambert, Rob Havenstein, I don't know how to say his name still. Also added Mike Gesicki, Brian Edwards with Superstar X Factor, and just developed a few players like Javonte Williams, Jerry Jeudy, some of our interior linemen. Like, our team is for sure good. And then defensively, it's decent here for sure. Obviously, we just traded for Daxton Hill. Craig Grant is a very good linebacker with Superstar Dev, obviously a defensive rookie of the year last year. So that was a very good pickup. Added Taylor Rapp, Jamel Dean, Aleem McNeil, Forbes here, Jerome Forbes. We added some pretty good players to this team, so I'm very much liking how it is looking. And obviously we have a ton of like star or much better dev traits. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 superstar or betters on the defense, and then just a couple on offense, couple X factors, but it is a very good looking team. But without further ado, let's get to the end of year number 3, and hopefully we can make the playoffs. Okay, so we get a breakout for Jerome Forbes. He gets the star dev and 5,000 XP. That's pretty huge. That'll be a huge boost to our D-line. All right, at the end of the third and final year, we finish 15-2, up to an 85 overall. It looks like we had the most offensive points per game with 35.3. We had a terrible pass defense, but a great run defense. Like, that's kind of surprising considering the strength of our defense is our secondary and and kind of our like inside linebackers and pass rushers, but hey, what do I know? Russell Wilson, maybe MVP season, 5,100 yards, 46 touchdowns, only 5 picks. Amazing year. Javonte Williams with almost 1,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, 5.3 yards per carry. Receiving, Bryan Edwards had 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns. Cortland Sutton, 1,200 yards, only 4 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. Even Mike Gesicki, 800 yards, 10 touchdowns. It looks like they don't get the tight ends involved much here, but they probably should, to be fair. I guess that's realistic with Russell Wilson, though, because he doesn't like passing to tight ends. Blocking, we had a very good offensive line. Jedrick Wills was a big upgrade over Garrett Bowles, at least for his last year. And then Rob Havenstein was a very good pickup, too. Great offensive line. In terms of tackles, Craig Grant led the team with 117. Tackles for loss, we had a good amount. Bradley Chubb led the team with 14. In sacks, very top-heavy. Bradley Chubb had 13.5, but other than that, not much. Jerome Forbes was 6.5. 4.5 for Draymond Jones. Only 4 for Randy Gregory. He's been pretty disappointing throughout the rebuild, I'm not going to lie. Patrick Surtain led the team in interceptions with 8. Good Lord. Outside of that, we had almost none. Craig Grant and Daxton Hill each had 2, and then like 4 players had 1. So very polarizing year, I guess you would say. Some players did very well, some were kind of mid. We had a very bad defense, but a very amazing offense. First in points scored. How about points allowed? That's what matters. 13th, so decent defense for sure. Kind of mid, but not bad. Russell Wilson does win his first MVP here. That is huge. At only an 83 overall, by the way. But yeah, that is a huge win for him. We love to see that. Any other Broncos? I don't see any. Is that guy Zach Jackson? That reminds me of like Jack Johnson, the fucking white mom singer, you know what I'm saying? Offensive player of the year goes to Nick Chubb. Javonte Williams at number 5, Russ at number 6. No other Broncos. Quintez Cephas on the Bengals. Okay. Defensive player of the year, who would have guessed? It goes to Von Miller. Any Broncos? Bradley Chubb at number 7. Surprisingly, no Patrick Surtain, no PS2, no PlayStation 2. Jonathan Redding of the Texans wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Any Broncos? Justin Moran, our like 3rd string running back at number 5. Nobody else. And Devontae Cates of the Chargers wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, Jerome Forbes at number 2 can't quite win it, but I guess it doesn't matter anyways because we're not going to get to the point where he would get a big upgrade. Jared Taylor, the linebacker at number 8. Better than Jared from Subway, I would hope. That was a random thing to say. All right, so in the divisional round of the playoffs, we're going to be taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's jump in and let's see if we can take them down. All right, here we are in the divisional against Pittsburgh. We are at home. There is Mikey McDingle looking beautiful. Let's see if we can get a dub. All right, and we are underway in Denver. Let's see if we can get a win. The Steelers take an early 7-0 lead. We get down there and only kick a field goal. It almost looked like we turned it over and then got it back. The Steelers have a 7-6 lead. We're up 9-7. They take it back. We take it right back, 17-14. We're up by 10, 24-14 now. They get a touchdown. They make it a little closer. Unfortunately for them, it is not enough. But fortunately for us, we get a win. That is a huge win. That was very close, and we were behind at times, but hey, we pulled it out, unlike I do with your mother. They have Mariota as QB, ew. And I didn't actually realize, but I didn't show what the team is looking like after the year. We got a lot of development throughout the year. Obviously, our receiving core is much better. Bryan Edwards up to an 87 with his morale. That's pretty huge. Just a lot of development through the offense. And then the defense, same deal. Grant up to an 80 with morale. Chubb up to an 85. Rapp up to an 83. Patrick Surtain gets into the 90s at a 91. A lot of upgrades here. Forbes, obviously, with that star dev from his breakout. But here we're going to be taking on the Buffalo Bills at 10-7. Another home game, but let's jump right in and let's see if we can take them down. All right, here we go in the conference championship against the Buffalo Bills. Now, this is going to be probably a tough game. Clearly, the Bills are like the best team in real life, but here, it's a few years in the future. We're better than them now, and let's see if we can beat them at home. They take an early 10-0 lead. We go down and score, fortunately. We take the lead 14-13. Unlucky start, but at least we had the lead. They're up 20-14. This ain't looking great so far. far. They're still up 20-17. We have to score. They have a 6-point lead. We take the lead back 24-23, 27-23. God, this is a close game, but it looks like we do get the win 27-26. That is a close game. Literally as close as you can get, 1 point. I guess, well, no, technically a tie is as close as you can get, but it's the playoffs, so you can't tie. Looks like Josh Allen laid a bit of a stinker with a 53% completion percentage, no touchdowns, but hey, we definitely take those. It looks like we have a good pass defense, at least in the playoffs. There's no way, bro. We have a rematch of the Cowboys-Broncos Super Bowl that happened in the first year. I believe those are the same records too, 15-2 and 10-7. This is weird. I don't know for sure if they're the exact same records, but that's what I thought it was, so I don't know. But let's jump right in. Let's see if we can take down the Cowboys in the Super Bowl this time. Oh God. All right, here we go in the Super Bowl. Do they get a home game? I swear to God, I've played the Cowboys so many times in the Super Bowl, it seems like they literally always get a home game. What is this? Why? I don't know if they did in the last one, but here they do. But let's get to the end of the game. Whoa, that was quick scoring. They take a 14-3, now 21-3 lead. We make it a little closer, 21-10, 21-17. They take a 28-17 lead. We're only down by 4. They get another touchdown. We get another touchdown. This is a hell of a Super Bowl. They're up by 3. We take the lead, 39-35. They take the lead. We take it back, and we win in the Super Bowl, 46-42. That has to be the best Super Bowl of all time. That is the highest scoring. We were down. It's like the mix of every good Super Bowl ever. That was just the best Super Bowl. I can't believe we actually won it. I thought for sure we were gonna lose. We were down, what, 21-3 at one point, down by 18 points, but we came back. Super high scoring game, insane game, quick scoring. That was just the best. This might be my best rebuild ever. Most successful. That was crazy. But thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you did enjoy, be sure to like, sub, turn on notifications, and let me know what team to do next, because all those help me out more than you could imagine, and they take you like 5 seconds. You know, help me hit that 30 like goal, help me chip away at 1K subs, and turn on notifications if you want to get notified whenever I upload. But thank you all so much for watching. Once again, I appreciate it a ton, and I'll see you guys again in the next video. Goodbye.